Hello again.
Yes.
You're getting 2 videos today. Lucky you.
Yes, aren't you so fortunate? You glorious. Hi.
So, once again, I am joined by Alexander Winfield.
Yes.
And
I'm gonna keep doing it to him.
and yeah, just got out of work. We are running some errands.
Going to the pharmacy.
Yes, might as well.
Might as well
say
go to
we're
the pharmacy.
going to the pharmacy. We're just not going to say why,
Going to get
because
some
that
pills.
is under. Okay, well you blew the whole operation,
I
but
just said
yes,
pills.
that's true. We didn't say what kind of
Pills
pills.
do many things.
They do many
Life,
things.
They kill.
They
It entirely depends what you want to use them for and how many you're willing to use. You know, it's all about the menu and the. I'm full of acid today. You have to excuse me. Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh.
I was about to challenge it. You didn't specify what kind of acid.
No, the burning kind.
The burning kind.
The burning kind of acid.
Yes. The not so good.
So when you have 5 bottles of acid in front of you, if you want to see what kind of acid I'm in trouble with, stick your finger into all 5 of them. And whichever burns the worst is the one I'm dealing with right now.
So what we're talking about, and what we were talking about before we started rolling, and I didn't expect this to carry into the video, but acid reflux.
Yes, acid reflux.
Just to be clear.
Yeah.
You do not partake in psychedelic drugs. Wait, was that?
No, I don't know if that was something I'd said or denied before the video started. I'll leave that question hanging. Hanging like a squirrel with one finger on the branch.
Yes, but acid reflux is a very different kettle of fish, is it?
Yes.
Is it not?
Well, it's a kettle of acid.
It's a
Really.
Yes.
They're only fish that they become sort of a terrible, filmy, foamy, greasy membrane on top of the acid by this point.
Yes, indeed. Yes, I used to get it pretty bad. That was that. So I sympathize.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for me, I know in my case, I think anxiety had a lot to do with it. But
I mean, anxiety in my case has much to do with everything I expect. It's
yes, I suppose.
that constant friend
Yes.
by your shoulder.
Constant companion.
Yes, slowly drilling into your skeletal structure. Don't mind me. So just take a few more days.
Yeah, but for me it was bad enough. I don't know, it made me a little agoraphobic. Like because I didn't like to be in social situations.
Poo or pod?
Poo or pod?
Is that the blue sign?
I think it says pod.
It says pod, okay.
Yes.
Look like poo from here. All right.
I can't blame you for that.
There is a poo cafe in Toronto.
There's a poo cafe?
Yeah, that's what they call it. I think it's poo. It might be. It's in Little Korea. It might be some kind of amusing. I think it's just chocolate and poo soup in poo form.
That sounds
I
like
think someone saw the butter and the coffee thing. They saw the chocolate and the coffee thing. Like, hey, let's make a quirky little variation on that.
the first episode of Nathan For You is one where he's dealing with a frozen yogurt company, and he suggests that they have a poo flavored yogurt.
Poo flavored yogurt.
And that's the episode that, it's the first episode, and anytime I've recommended the show to people, they watch that first one, and it puts them off.
Yes.
So maybe not the best one to start with.
Why on earth would they?
I have no idea why poo-flavored yogurt, even as a concept, because it's not like you're required to try the yogurt just to
I think
watch
part of it might be the fact that the public at large, having lived in this society for some years by now, probably are fairly suspicious that there are men of great influence and power seriously considering poo-flavored yogurts. And, no, supply and demand being what it is, they might at some point find themselves in the store and they're very hungry, and all they have is the poo-flavored yogurt.
Right. And of course, everyone's seen Solo, right?
I've seen Salo.
Actually, I haven't.
You haven't seen
You
Salo.
have seen Solo, but I haven't.
It was a date movie. Shit. Oh, wait, we're not supposed to walk.
Yeah, I don't think we should walk.
All right, fine.
I almost led you to your doom. This is the second time. This is the second time I've led you directly into traffic in the course of making these videos.
Yes, it's true. No, I'm drinking coffee. I shouldn't be doing that.
That's not the best.
No, I'm also
That's true.
tired, so I'm like, yeah. I solved one of my problems and marginally increased the problem with the second one. Yes, tired. Acid reflux. No, Salo was a great first date movie. She took me to see it. Lady in Toronto.
Lady in Toronto.
A lady in Toronto thought she was a hit. Took me to the film when they ate all of that shit. Murder was a happenstance, and they stabbed each other as they performed a deadly dance. And I never saw her again. She freaked me out.
By the way, okay, so now that since I have you here. Okay, so last night we watched The Exterminating Angel.
Yes.
You'd seen it before. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it was your copy that you brought.
Yeah.
So, of course you
Yeah,
had.
it's my
So,
film.
what were your thoughts seeing it again?
Oh, I dig Louis Bunuel. And The Exterminating Angel in particular. It's like, I mean, for me, it's like it's interesting how he takes a very simple sort of setting, a limited cast. There's maybe 10 people in the whole film. A bit more maybe, but you're in basically this living room. I don't know if you people have seen this film before or not. Basically, bourgeois dinner party. Everyone's hanging out, everyone's chillaxing. One of these parties that seems to go on and on, then everyone decides to sleep over in this little living room area. And the next morning, like, why aren't we leaving? Why aren't we leaving? And then they say, oh, we can't leave. We can't leave the living room. We don't know why. We can't leave the living room. And then days pass, and they run out of water and food, and death starts creeping in, and the matter of how to deal with human fecal matter becomes a huge issue. It gets hilarious. Bunuel loves toilets, and he loves them as social institutions, and he really pushes it in this film. You're very aware of the swelling mass behind all these doors of human waste. It's great, but it's I mean, it's very funny, I find, even though everyone is like in full tragic mode. There's many interpretations of it. For me, it's just, it's sort of human society. You got all the types. You got the ineffectual leader who's trying to be nice, and you got the big bore of a man who decides, you know what, he doesn't like the way things are going. He's got no better ideas, but he's just going to tear everything down and maybe start a revolution. You've got the kid who just likes complaining and hating on the adults, has no suggestions how to improve things. And and you got the lecherous old man. You got the people who like to start off with these little charms. As people have these little things, a little superstitious, and things get crazy. They start having religions to try and deal with the inescapable terror. Yeah, it's us. It's just about us.
Yes, that is true. I definitely got more out of it this time than I did when I was, 20 when I saw it. I don't remember how long. It's a long time ago.
Well, we've met the people in the film now. In one
Exactly.
form or another.
Yes.
I've seen that bore. I've seen the lady who, in like 1920, she just had a couple kooky little charms, thought it was a nigga, and now like she spends half her income on it. She's kind of crazy about it.
That reminds me. Do you remember? Okay, so Alex was with me the first time I went to France. It was also his first time in France, and we were there. We were there because of an invitation by Jean Lambert Wild. I'm not definitely not saying that right, but that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And at the time, we had no idea why he was inviting me there, except for just some vague proposition to do some kind of artistic collaboration. And Alex was there just because he said I could bring someone with me. I could bring anyone, and so I brought Alex. You remember that?
Je me souviens France très bien. Yes, I remember France.
And so we were there for a couple days, and just one of these times he just kind of dragged us to this banquet because they were having an event that was celebrating Denmark.
Yes.
It was Denmark, wasn't it?
It was once some Scandinavian country. Yeah, let's say Denmark for now. Well, that's pseudo-Scandinavian. But they probably wouldn't say Scandinavian.
There's a number of crazy things about that event, or maybe just one, that the president... No, it was Iceland. Sorry, Iceland and Denmark. But it was Iceland, wasn't it?
Sure.
I don't fucking...
Let's say Iceland for now.
Like, ordinarily, I could just very easily look this up.
There was a lot happening.
I just know that the president of that respective country was actually in the room at this banquet that we attended.
Yes.
Where we were just like, how the fuck? Like, we were just like, we had one of those moments where we turned to each other and said, how the fuck did we get up?
How did this happen? How did this happen exactly?
Like, speaking of like a bourgeois environment, it's like
one thing about Jean Lambert is that like he's a very accomplished theater director, and he sort of wears this brilliantly conceived costume at these parties.
Yes. All the time. He wears it all the time.
And it is a uniform, essentially. It is the uniform of, look at me, I'm the eccentric artist, but I can also talk business. He's got kind of a jacket, but it's a neat shade of red. He's got, I think he had army boots on all the time.
Yes.
They couldn't have been comfortable. But they were well shined and stuff, so like he was very well coiffed. And it was like, oh yes, I'm eccentric, I'm the artist you want to give money to.
Yes.
It was brilliantly conceived, and the idea of society as performance art, that we've just forgotten the director's dead, we don't know what's going on, we're just continuing the rough themes. We're just all performing all the time. So that was like, oh yeah, I can sort of see that.
Yeah.
And taking it as performance is sometimes, I think, very necessary, which I think in part was what was The Exterminating Angel was touching on that. Yes. All the bourgeois... Magali was with us, and she speaks Spanish, and she's Mexican, so this was a Mexican film. And she was telling us the Spanish they were speaking was like uber proper at first, and no one speaks like that. This very performative sort of, yes, look at me, I've taken time to enunciate very carefully.
Which I imagine is also, I mean, because it's made in the 50s, so to a Mexican audience, they would sound the way a lot, like when you watch a lot of 50s films now.
Yeah. Everyone sounds nice and enunciates and proper, and they've got their T's and D's well clipped.
Yes.
But as the film goes on and the chaos grows and swells, everyone's language becomes increasingly messy. They start slipping into slang and all these things. So it's just like the performance drops, which is one of the great sins of for the bourgeois. You know, like if you drop the performance, if you just suddenly act as you are human, that's a sign of weakness.
Yes.
And in this case, I'm surprised they didn't start eating each other, but I think they were thinking about it. They were getting there. That's another Bunuel film, I believe.
Probably, yes.
Yeah, he's in there somewhere. But yeah, no.
I need to rewatch them all now. I remember at the time, because I very quickly became a fan of Bunuel from Un Chien Andalou, which I discovered by accident at my high school library. And then I found then I think the next one I saw was Belle de Jour. And I was just kind of stunned by, there's several decades between those films. One's made in the 30s and the other in the 60s. And I was stunned by the way he moves the camera so confidently and beautifully I'd say like a very modern way almost.
Yes, I would also say like there's a great confidence in his directing, which you don't see a lot. It's only about halfway through you realize how subtle he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
He is very kind for the camera movement, but they're not showy, or rarely showy. His soundtrack's also impressive, in as much that he rarely has the soundtrack.
Yeah, and so when I started reading about his famous films like Exterminating Angel and Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, I think I was so eager to find them, because in South Paris they were you couldn't get them anywhere without traveling or just buying them blindly on Amazon and mailing them a check as I went into this morning. But so I think by the time I finally saw Exterminating Angel, it didn't quite live up to my expectations. But again, like you say, it's in a lot of ways a very subtle film.
Yes, it creeps up on you.
Yeah. So it's better to watch it without those expectations, I think.
There's a lot going on. It's a very dense film in many respects, but it doesn't insist on its genius.
Right.
Yes. Which is what's one
None of his films do, really.
They just do what they do, and they show you what's going on, and they've done it with great skill and expertise, and you dig it great if you don't find Bunuel's other things to do. He could make really excellent drinks, apparently.
Yeah,
he was a great mixer. I think someone who can make mixed drinks excellently has a fair degree of independence from other human beings' opinions.
I used to have a copy of his autobiography, which was very interesting reading. I think I left it in Tacoma. I want to get another copy of that.
Yes.
Did you ever read that?
I think I did. I read part of it. I don't know if I read it cover to cover.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Anyway, we're at the G train, so I'm gonna gonna stop this now. And we talked for 15 minutes.
Wow, that was cool.
Yeah.
There's things to talk about. I've still got acid reflux.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Yes. All right. I need my hands to get the thing out now. Goodbye, everybody.